Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about and show you how we can go ahead and set up the Microsoft 365 Copilot for whole organization, right? So what are the things needed? What are the capabilities that we can go ahead and implement, right? And how this is going to be. So there is a complete step-by-step guide that I'm going to show you how we should follow it. And there are some of the steps that we should also be doing during or before, a kind of prerequisites that we should take up, and then we would be able to make that deployment successful, right? So to do that, I'm going to simply jump onto the screen and show you from the beginning so that you can also understand how we should do it and what is needed. Maybe there are different areas or different thoughts on each of those because it depends on each organization and how each organization is adopting Copilot deployment for whole organization or create a specific team or group of users that they wanted to go ahead and deploy, right? So it is depending on their individual preferences, requirements, and again, how organization is trying to adopt and provide the Copilot and AI capabilities to their users for different reasons, be it improving on their productivity, improving on their work life, as well as improving on across the organization's assessment and alignments, which is going to help them to uh, do their work faster than that they were following before, right? So let's jump on to the demo and I'll show you from the beginning. All right, let me share my screen here and we can start off. All right, so you can see that I'm in 365 portal, and from here we have this admin panel or admin capability, right? And from there you need to click on overview, right? So under overview, we see a bunch of details that is already available and you might have seen that. But the one which I'm going to show you is going to be kind of deployment of Copilot for whole organization. Even we can focus and target it for a specific group of user or specific group as well. So that way it is going to be targeting only those people at the initial level or a kind of pilot program. And gradually we can extend it to the whole organization or probably maybe a separate team that we wanted to focus on, right? So you can see that there are two variants, which is a Copilot with which comes with 30 around almost 32 US dollar per license per month, right? Which is a paid one. And another variant is 365 Copilot Chat, right? So that's a freeware, that's the free version, and that's available for each and every user, so they can use it and probably they can get their experience and get their hands dirty on it to get to how to prompt and how to get the details. And it totally depends on each organization whether they want to allow it for each and every users or probably they would simply go ahead and disable it depending on their use cases and requirements. Okay, right? And you can see that there are a bunch of other details as well, but the one which I'm going to show you is going to be this one, which is Microsoft 365 Copilot setup guide, right? So this is a complete step-by-step guide where we need to follow and to be able to deploy it successfully for the whole organization or a specific group of users, right? So this is going to give us the complete visibility, what we are going to do from the beginning and how we are going to make it available. So you can see that this is the first step where it says that you or your tenant doesn't have any 365 Copilot licenses. We should go ahead and buy licenses if we don't have, right? And even we can see a bunch of other details as well over here, including additional resources and additional details that we might have, right? So now the question might be something whether we should really buy licenses or we should not, right? It again depends on the organizations and their requirement and whether we wanted to allow users to buy licenses, not to users, but as an organization, how we should proceed ahead or go ahead with it, right? So let's assume that you have licenses and those would show up over here and to be able to deploy it. So this is a complete step-by-step guide that Microsoft has built for all the administrators, and it's going to be easy and straightforward without making much noise or without making much uh, customization or changes, right? So we should simply start with, so let's go ahead and next. So on the second step here, you would see there are a bunch of tasks that we can assign and probably get the hands off or sign up from different people, right? So, and these are the different tasks. Those should be kind of prerequisites per service. So per service as in 365 apps, OneDrive, Outlook, Teams, and Loop, and Copilot Analytics. So these are the different ones. And even if you wanted to get sign up from different stakeholders across the organization, right, who is responsible for maybe particularly for SharePoint or maybe particularly for a data which is fully managed and organizational data or business data that is stored somewhere within SharePoint or OneDrive. And we wanted to get hands off or sign up from that respective stakeholder. We should simply assign and probably they can simply just get their views on it, and then probably we should be good to go ahead and deploy this one, right? Also, there's the option for us to add and sync your users to the uh, Copilot service, right? So this is going to come from Enter ID, right? Which is going to be Enter ID authentication or authentication way to do it, right? And then there are certain details that we can follow for the Copilot readiness reports, whether we are ready, a kind of initial assessment, and make sure we decide to go ahead and deploy it successfully, right? And once we do all of these, so these are the kind of prerequisites for each of those services. And once we confident enough, we are good here to go ahead and make this product, right? So go ahead and click next. So this is a part of preparation, right? So next is, here are the best practices to protect the data in Copilot, right? So these are the different tasks again, which we need to follow and get it done or complete upon reviewing all of these tasks, right? So task includes maturity model, Copilot data handling, how Copilot is going to handle the data, right? And then Microsoft Purview information protection, how we wanted to protect the data as well, right? So all of that, these are the different capabilities, or we can say these are the protection mechanisms or data protection mechanisms for the Copilot, and at what extent we wanted allow Copilot to use and see the data, and whether we wanted to let people also see that data, because each and every users would try to query something on the Copilot and give it a prompt and then try to extract the details. But if you don't want any confidential data to be visible, to be shown on the screen for users, then definitely we should tighten the visibility of the data, as well as we wanted to make sure break it down somewhere so that people can see only the data which are needed for them, right? Which is not something we don't want it to let them see, and probably that's not the right thing for organizations to do it, right? So that way we have to do this assessment and do the right set of changes, and then we should be good there too. So let's move to the next one, which is a content sharing, right? So here we have bunch of options and tasks again, which says that we should be able to control access to the sites and block downloads, identify and manage inactive sites, because we don't want those sites to be visible and allowed by the Copilot to make the search queries and identify the data and make that data visible to the people. Similarly, manage sharing, manage oversharing, along with enable restricted SharePoint search, and also we can disable it if it's already enabled for the tenant or SharePoint, right? So these are the content sharing capabilities for SharePoint, and for Purview also. We have some of the similar capabilities that we can go ahead and implement, right? So this is also very important to make a note of it and take the appropriate actions, right? So it is not kind of simply just go ahead and deploy it across, because each and every organization has their own policies for internal and external data sharing, as well as accessibility of the data, right? So that way we should definitely do this assessment and take the appropriate decisions on it. Let's move to the next one, where you would see license for the Copilot user. So this is a basic chart which is that 365 Copilot and 365 Copilot where there are two variants, right? And each variant has the feature differences. So which license has what features and a kind of comparison between Copilot Chat and with the Copilot, right? So this is just to see how we can or what is provided to the users, right? And there are some of the other resources available. So let's click next. So here's the in production or in product announcements, if in case we wanted to notify that one. So we can do that as well. So that's in preview currently, but that's simply we can, or that's not necessary during the deployment or making this a product for a whole organization. But yeah, that's also available over here. The next one is additional training and resources that we can provide to the end users for um, efficient usage of the Copilot as well as Copilot adoption for the whole organization, as well as educating users is always the best way to give them something which is going to give them and increase their engagement and get them trained on the resources as well as the tools and systems that we are going to provide them so that they can use it effectively and not doing anything which is really not expected, right? So that way we wanted to train people as well so that they would be using all those systems and tools effectively and appropriately, right? So that way we have some of the resources over here and we can provide that as well. Click next. So here we have Copilot adoption insights for the whole organization as well as wherever we are going to deploy it across. Say by measuring adoption and impact and user sentiments, how people are simply accessing it, what are their use experiences, whether they are enjoying it, and it's going to give us a bit of details, right? So basis on that, we would be able to see and maybe we can make the broader deployments, right? Also, we have options to manage user access to the dashboards via Viva Insights so that we would be able to see the details there and some of the resources as well. On the next page, we have some of the common topics. So this is nothing but kind of information and to assign the different licenses or availability and configurations and all of that. So this is not for end users basically, but this is for administrators and the whole team who can simply manage as well as get the insights of the license usage and user experiences. Click next. And this is going to be the stage where we would see whatever we have configured across the all of these steps or stages. And then we are good once we have done everything and all the assessments, all the prerequisites, right? And based on that, we should be good here to go ahead and click next. And at the last stage, you would see finish stage where we have completed everything. Also, we have some of the additional resources that we can simply prefer and use. And we can see the message center and roadmaps. And there is one of the way as well, which is Copilot extensibility guide as well. So that's also similar way for us to go through and see how we can deploy and make use of it effectively for the whole organization, right? And this way it's going to give us the complete Copilot extensibility, right? So this is something which is available for us on the Copilot deployment only, right? And this is the way where we would be deploying Copilot, right? So I'll click done button here and it's going to simply ask for the experience. And this is something, let me select this one and submit it. And it's good. All right, so it says that your 365 Copilot onboarding hub. So this is the onboarding hub, right? And by doing all of these steps here, it says readiness assessment is completed. Now we can start with everything together or whatever, like quick start foundation and advanced configurations and Copilot extensibility, right? So this way we would be able to simply make use of the deployment and everything together, right? So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you and make sure you do it right, right? So that way we would be able to achieve the deployments and everything, whatever we wanted to do it, right? So okay, it is just still loading. Okay, you can see that it is again going to show you the same because we have completed it, but still there are some steps that we need to take, right? And that is why it's going to show us all those steps as it's a kind of guide, right? And to follow the guide, definitely we have many number of steps that we should take, including the assessments of different workloads, along with stakeholder sign off on each of those workloads and how we wanted to protect the data, how we wanted to make sure the data visibility on different workloads and whether users should be able to access certain workloads and data, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. I wanted to show you and talk about, right? Definitely you might have seen and used this one, but this is something which is very important and to know. And once we know what is expected, what we can do and what we cannot do, definitely we have a lot of many things to do there. So yeah, that's all for this video. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and people around you so that they can also learn and know about it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you get to see every new video whenever it is uploaded. Right. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.